Knuffingen is an imaginary town, as is the airport that serves it. So let's have a look at the details. As we move around Miniatur Wonderland, on the fence there are little tags. And these are in German and English, although I've only photographed the English side, which explain what you're looking at. Also, attached to the layout, there are little boxes with buttons on them. And these are used to activate a special type of animation. You'll be seeing both of these in action as we go around this layout. We'll have a quick look at Knuffingen. What I feel is the boring side, because it's more models than anything else. The coal mine has this operation under the ground, which you can see, and then it's mainly buildings and the little scenes that exist right through the whole layout. Lots of little scenes that are great to look at, but there's no action. Well, there is sometimes. The construction there, and if we get a little bit over into some of the major construction, you'll see some of the action that's happening.
Oder halt Transport von Federn ist. Pro Staatswagen musst du ja schnell viel Personal transportieren und im Team ist das sehr ätzend.
Now we move over into the main peninsula of Knuffingen, and this is where all the action happens. And I mean, it is a lot of action. There are some scenes, but it's all interactive. It's mainly the road system, very little in the way of trains, but there is action all along. So we have the likes of the fire brigade running to go up to the Schloss because there is a fire up there. So we see the fire engines heading up, and they have to wait a little bit because there's a one lane only going up this hill. So they have to wait for the car to leave the one lane section before it can go up to the next one.
Miniatur Wunderland ist, es ist 11 Uhr. Das bedeutet, unsere Disco und Diner werden warme Speisen serviert. Schaut doch gerne eine Pause an.
And then as we head around to the front of the Schloss, you can see the fire burning there and the fire engines moving in to put it out. And they put it out pretty quickly. Now we're back to the main intersection, and again the fire brigade are off out again. This time it's an apartment fire, which you can see up in the top right hand corner, and this one is the big one They get lots of fire engines, not just the ones from the central fire station, but also from other areas on the layout. Lots of sirens. Just down the road from the fire station is the petrol station with a car wash. And we've got a little bit of animation. In fact, just press the button and the car gets washed. Not that efficient, but it looks good. Of course, one of the features of Miniatur Wunderland is the trains. So we've got to have some trains showing up here. These trains are moving in and out of the central station of Knuffingen. The Black Forest side of Knuffingen is again an area which is full of little scenes. A number of them are quite along the edge of the layout, and you can spend hours just looking at all the little scenes. Now we move on to the airport. And the airport is really something that is, I think, unique. I don't think any other model system has set out the amount of work that goes on at this airport. You can see the cars moving around, the aircraft move. They take off, they land, they taxi to the tower, to the terminal. From an action point of view, there is always a lot happening on this airport, and it comes complete right down to, this is the cargo area. And the planes can go over the cargo or the passenger terminal. Lots and lots of things to see, and you can spend, and I have spent hours looking at this. Now let's look at some of the detail in front of the terminal. The terminal has a number of car parks sitting in front. And you sort of wonder, yes, it's accurate, it matches up, but it's the little details that are in the car park. And here's just a couple of examples of some of the little bits of detail that you see. All sorts of little stories going on. I'd hate to be down with that car. It's just, again, you can spend lots of time looking at all these little details. And the railway is actually here at the airport, but it's underground. Love the character there. And here's the underground station that serves the airport. So the trains are here, you just got to look for them. Now, of course, as it is an airport, we really need to see a few takeoffs and landings. And it's actually interesting watching the planes. They all have different characteristics, so they all change as they take off. They're actually holding a slightly different flight path. It's quite interesting watching the different characteristics of each of these aeroplanes. You can see that one's going up a lot higher than the previous one. And then you've got the Millennium Falcon, and he doesn't muck around. He just zooms along, heading off to Tatooine. As you can see, they have the space shuttle coming in for emergency landing. It's actually the fires that go out, surround once it's landed. Now we come to a little area, little township that's at the edge of the airport. And again, right at the front of the layout, is all these little scenes. The tree coming down, and the housewife coming out to have a go at the local shop in town. You can see the house next door has glass roofs, so you can see inside, see the details inside. And there's a car racing system in front of that house. And then further back, there's actually a chap that runs a garden railway. And he runs the train around the layout, around the house with his garden railway. It's great. There's some great little details to be seen in this area. And as we move across, there's an accident. Sport there, the police and the ambulance. And then right on the corner, there's a big swimming pool. And there's activity inside the pool. I just find it so fascinating. Bavaria is actually just a small little extension running off the main airport, but it can be seen from both sides, so it's quite an interesting. You can get in and see the detail from either side. And sometimes you've got to sit there and really look at it to see some of that detail. Only a small area, but there's all sorts of things happening in there.